Let's just see. This definitely isn't a hot take, by the way. This is a bog standard normal take. Yo, what's happening, bro? A lot of people will say Merab can't be. Yeah, a lot of people who were saying earlier whenever I went live, you probably wouldn't have seen it because TikTok nerfs my lives for some reason now and like pushes it out to fucking 4 people. But whenever I was live earlier, people were saying he can't be because he lost to Yan. Thank you for the follow, bro. Saying that he can't be fighter of the year because he lost to Yan, which I don't agree with. I mean, the guy had 4 title fights in a year. That's next level. Who else can you argue? It can't be Islam Makhachev. The guy fought Moicano, a layup of a fight. And then, yes, he became double champ, but still. Ilya Taporia also became double champ, but had 1 fight this year. Merab should have been at one point the highest paid fighter in the UFC this year because of the activity. They need to reward activity in the sport. Because 4 title fights in a year is insane. Merab tried to do what other champions couldn't do. Yeah, exactly. I think I couldn't agree more. I think Merab wins the trilogy. A lot of people also seem to forget that Merab and Yan are 1-1. So it's not like Yan just beat the fuck out of him there and that's it. They're 1-1. You know what I mean? And Yan won the rematch 4 rounds to 1, in my opinion, but Merab won the original matchup 5-0. What happened to the tier list? For some reason, it went down to 0 viewership for like 5+ minutes. So I just ended it because, again, and I'm about to end this live as well because TikTok just fucking shadow banned the fuck out of me. So it's getting a bit annoying. I have no idea. I think the energy sword has got the morale. We haven't seen him that hard in any other fight. The body shots as well, though, from Jan. Thank you for the follow, mate. You didn't do nothing, I know. But this just seems to be the way it goes for me on here. But less of the complaining. We're live now. But yeah, Merab easily fighter of the year. There's no one that even comes close, in my opinion. Paddy or Justin, I think Paddy TKOs him inside 3. In my opinion. That's what I think happens. Top 5 strikers in the UFC right now. In no particular order, Taporia, Pereira, Yan. JDM. Volkanovski has to be in there. You can't be fighter of the year if you lose. Yeah, you can. No Holloway? No. No, I wouldn't put Holloway in there. In a striking matchup, JDM would beat Max Holloway. If they were the same weight in a striking fight, JDM wins. Yeah, that was a problem for him. Diego Lopez is an industry plant. I mean, that's a valid take, but the fact he took the Gene Silva matchup makes me think no. O'Malley, an industry plant. Yo, what's up, Luke? Fighters that I think are industry plants. We're gonna go with Toporia's brother, industry plant. Who else is an industry plant? Kyle Baralho, industry plant. Yeah, Khalil Roundtree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for sharing the live. Thanks to everybody liking and sharing the live, trying to push them out there. Um, yeah, if I can move everybody from TikTok over to YouTube, I'd never use this fucking app again in my life. I mean, a lot of people hated Volkanovski though during the whole Max type stuff, the Max fights. Paddy Pimlet isn't an industry plant. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. TikTok just makes sense for MMA creators. That's true. Oh, but they're so strict though, and like the rules that they have. Like I can go from making a video that'll do like 500k views randomly, a video that is literally just a green screen background, like I do. It'll do like half a mil, and then randomly the week later, you get a video that does like 700 views, and it's like, how the fuck does that make any sense? Thank you, bro. Tybura beats Prime GSP, Fox. I appreciate that, man. Lopez, easiest fight out of the three he could have had. Yeah, but Nina Drama's content course would be getting her tits out. That would kind of be it. That defeat. I'm not going to be able to compete with that, unfortunately. Murphy and Evloev better, especially from the UK. Yeah, thanks. I had a goal of, I think Lopez beats Volk in the rematch. The UFC are really dying for that. Like they won Volkanovski on a t-shirt. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I had a goal for 2025 to hit 30k on TikTok. Didn't happen, obviously. Nah, cage side. I went blank. What's the guy called? I watch him. I follow him. I can't remember his name. It's not cage side combos. He's the American guy. Keep it casual. What do you call him? The MMA guy. Keep it casual. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Him. He's the biggest in the UK. Mm. But yeah, I don't know. I found it really hard to grow on TikTok this year. Like my first year on TikTok, I hit 10k. I hit 10k, which was good. And then I got banned for a bit, like completely lost my account. Then went from in another year, grew another 10k. And then this year, when I say I only grew 6k, that's still a lot. Like a lot of people don't have 6k on the app. 6k is still a decent amount of followers, but I don't know, it's a bit of a slow year. On Prime, Karate Stance Corner. What do you want me to say about it? The best version of Connor was lightweight Connor against Eddie Alvarez, in my opinion. Aaron Pico is a nightmare matchup for Volk. He's not. Nowhere near. Aaron Pico was brought into the UFC, given a number one contender fight when he didn't do anything in Bellator to even like warrant that. Like, if they had brought Patricio Pitbull in and put him in a number one contender fight, well, they did against Jair, I suppose that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. They bought Chandler in. Chandler one fight, got a win against Dan Hooker, got a title fight. Makes sense. Like those were big names in Bellator that had done stuff in the organization. Aaron Pico never done anything in the organization. Aaron Pico's boxing is an elite. Let's just stop that right there. Do I think Aljo becomes champ ever again? Um, Aljo wouldn't beat Volk, so it depends how long Volk's staying around. I do think Aljo would beat Mo. No, I don't think he'd beat Mozart. We seen the 3 round fight was really close, and I am like the leader of the Aljamain Sterling fan club. But do you reckon when it gets closer to UFC 6, you'll make vids about it and the views will go up? This is the thing, right? Anytime I make a video on UFC 6, views go pretty decent. Do you know the thing is, and this is the thing with this app? See, when you make a video that is one either rage bait along those lines. Like when I make a video being like the UFC White House card has finally been revealed, knowing that it's a concept card, 100K plus. You know what I mean? It's just weird how it works. But I think Aljo would beat like a Lerone Murphy. I don't think he'd beat Diego Lopez. Aljo's problem is his gas tank. Like if Aljo had proper 5 round conditioning, I'd maybe say, yeah, he's got a good chance, but no, I don't think so. Yuri got to be second fighter of the year, in my opinion. Yeah, that's fair enough. 2 big wins. Joshua Van has to be in there for a shout. I know the way he won the belt was controversial, but 4 fights in a year, I'm pretty sure he took. I don't know. I think Ortega might beat Moicano. That's just my take. I understand that people were shitting on Van because the way he won the belt and then the way he was celebrating afterwards. Realistically, everybody would celebrate if they won the belt, even if they won it that way. But the year he had to go from what ranked outside of the top 10, I believe, and then to get the belt in 1 year is pretty crazy. Tracy Cortez will have unlimited title fights as long as she stays with Pereira. Facts. She'll probably fight for the belt next, even though she's coming off a loss. Yeah, that's just Ali Abdelaziz on Islam's Twitter, probably tweeting that shit. There's no argument that can be made that Usman should be next for Islam. None. Because I would understand if there was no clear contender in the division. There's 2. You've got Ian Gary and Michael Morales, 2 deserving fighters. I think Ian Gary's more deserving. Just think he's done more in the welterweight division, but there's no argument for Usman. Usman is on a 1-fight win streak against Joaquin Buckley. That's it. Now, granted, everybody thought Joaquin Buckley was going to go far in the division, and I still think he might. But before that, Usman was on a 3-fight losing streak. But just because he beat Buckley as an underdog doesn't mean that he jumps over Ian Gary and Michael Morales. It doesn't make sense. And the thing is what I hate about him more is Islam isn't going to stay in the sport for long. I think we've got 2 fights, 3 at most out of Islam. And the fact that one of them is going to be wasted on an Usman fight that won't be close, won't be competitive, is just fucking pointless, in my opinion. It's either Ian Gary or Morales. I think Ian Gary is a tougher matchup than Michael Morales. That's just my opinion. I don't know why anybody wants to see Usman versus Islam though. It won't be competitive. People talk about the Usman Hamzat Chimaev fight, but Islam and Hamzat are completely different fighters. Usman would get stopped by Michael Morales and 50-45 by Ian Gary. Why would Shavkat fight for the title? What has Shavkat done? He's been inactive for a year. That's what you said about Buckley. True. But it's not even like you're getting prime Usman versus Islam. If this was like a prime Usman, if this was an Usman the loss, the coming off one loss, he's coming off a loss. He lost the belt. He's coming off one loss, but he had that long reign before. I'm happy enough to see that, but that's not it. This is an Usman who, in his last five fights, is 2 wins, 3 losses. And the win is Joaquin Buckley, and the win before that was Colby Covington, which was when the pyramids were being built. Now, the Bellator fighters need to be disrespected more, in my opinion. If Hamzat Chimaev had a full training camp for Usman, it wouldn't be close. Usman isn't the welterweight go. Come on. But why does Ian Gary need to have one more fight? The guy's beaten a lot of people in the rankings already. He just beat Bilal Muhammad, a former champion. Michael Morales is undefeated. If anybody out of the two needs one more win, it's Michael Morales. Usman should get the next. No, he shouldn't. There's no valid reason for Usman to get the next title fight. There's none. Like, I would like to see Michael Morales against Bilal Muhammad. I know Bilal Muhammad's coming off 2 losses. However, no one really knows how good Michael Morales is. He beat Gilbert Burns, who's completely washed. Gary didn't get destroyed by Shavkat at all. It was a close fight. And if Ian Gary had a full training camp for Shavkat, he beats him. Facts. He's the welterweight GOAT after GSP. No, he's the second best welterweight of all time. The GOAT of welterweight is GSP. I'm not going to hate it when Morales becomes champion. I actually like Michael Morales, especially in his last 2 performances. He's been fun to watch. Yeah, being the second best in the division. Like, do we just say, right, okay, I know Imavov's the rightful #1 contender, but let's give the title fight to Adesanya. After all, he is the second best middleweight of all time. How do you think Merab Volkanovski goes? Volkanovski wins. Current Paulo Costa beats Izzy, no. Other candidates, Yuri Prohaska. Underrated shout, Benoit Saint-Denis. Who can Izzy still beat? Jared Cannonier. Bruno Ferreira in the rankings. He beats him. Marvin Vittori, obviously, he still beats him. I'm trying to think of who else is in the rankings. I think he could beat Kyle Baralho, honestly. Are you from Belfast? Just outside of it, man. No. No, Brandon Allen and RDR beat him. Pre-recorded live. Stopped. Kept. Could Izzy beat RDR? Yeah, I suppose he could. The problem with RDR is the guy's like a fucking heavyweight in there. And but Adesanya has good takedown defense, especially against the cage. That's my opinion. Do you think Carlos beats Islam at welterweight? No. Absolutely not. Moreno's not the same fighter anymore. It seems like he's taking a lot of damage. Right, that's going to do me for tonight. Adios. Try and get a better life going.